Okay, let's get going today. In the next 2 years, GTA 6 is about to come out, and everyone knows the GTA franchise has been looked at as one of the best gaming franchises of all time, with games like Vice City, San Andreas, GTA 4, just in general. But I'm here to talk about a game that's realistically lasted the last 12 years with GTA 5. GTA 5 came out in 2013 and has lasted on the PS4, the PS3, and now the PS5, and Xboxes with it, the Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, or whatever the fuck they call it. And realistically, it has been a game that has evolved even throughout just the game systems that you've had, the different consoles, obviously, and just overall the whole aspect of gaming has just still stayed the same with that game. It has been there through every single good big game in the past years, where you've always kind of came back to GTA 5 somehow. With GTA 5, you had the introduction of heists, you had the introduction of buying some more real estate on a million different places, you had the introduction of so many different cars, and all the different updates that they had. I mean, you gotta think, this game has lasted so long. You could buy bunkers now, you could buy hangars, you could buy nightclubs, you could buy you could buy the game stores, or whatever they're called. You could have your own weed, cocaine business. It is crazy how much stuff you could do in this game. And the fact that I think it's talked about a decent amount, but it really has lasted 12 years. And with GTA 6 coming out in the next year or two, you gotta think and look back at how good GTA 5 is. I mean, first of all, you have a great campaign or story mode, or however you call it, with 3 different characters that you go through, and you go back and forth and through all 3 of their storylines, have multiple endings that, you know, you could stay in story mode and have millions of dollars in story mode, buy everything, play story mode, and have a different life, whatever, throughout the 3 characters. But then you go to online, and at the beginning it was just cars, and you know, you were at first, I remember people glitching out so much money. You know, I remember one of my friends had like $73 million and stuff like that, like on PS3, and it was crazy. And then the PS4 came, and with it came GTA 5 again. And that's when, you know, you started getting the heists a few years later. Again, the heists were so fun when you first did them. You would get $1 million, you'd be like, holy crap. You'd get the payout, you'd get the bonus, and it was just great because you get to spend it on the expensive cars that you couldn't get, or that you had to grind for before. And then you could get the 10 car garages, and now it's like 44 car garages you can have. It's crazy. Then it started, you know, transpiring to the O-type businesses, where you had, again, your drug businesses, your, you know, paraphernalia, whatever it is, you know, the crazy shit that they had in it, where you were picking stuff up from different dealers, you were stealing stuff. It was crazy, and you were making money, and you had people working for you. You could have people online doing missions for you. You could have your friends be in your own club, your motorcycle club, your, you know, business and whatever, and they could be affiliates and still make money, and then you would make money with them doing stuff. You know, you had your hangars, which again, you got to do businesses, you got to do heists with it, but then you could store your own planes in it, which was sick. Then you had your bunker, which, you know, I'm not gonna lie, that's where I got a lot of my money, with some glitches. Now, I'm not gonna say if I'm banned or not, but I can still play. But you know, maybe I duplicated some cars back then. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. But at the end of the day, it was fun stuff like that. You got your flying car, you got your Deluxo, you got your whatever all the other flying shit is. You had your cool cars like your Zentorno. Zentorno's sick. one of the best cars in the game at the time. You had your Turismo at the time. You had all these stuff, and you could buy your jets, you know. Again, you could buy all those businesses, make a shit ton of money, and you could customize. There was so much customization in the game, and it is crazy to think that this game was made in 2013 and that they have just updated it until 2025 now. You know, the amount of stuff that they've added in this game where you're like, wow, they can't add in anymore. They've just continued to go. I mean, I remember when the best thing you could have done is jump the dang fence at the military base and steal a jet. Then now you can buy one. You can buy a fighter jet. You can own, you know, all these different jets and have them in your hangar, have them at your CEO place. You know, the amount of craziness that you could do in this game, and still that it's supposed to last 1 to 2 years, even if the player base drops off, which again, I couldn't tell you what the player base is now, but I know a consistent amount of people still play that game, and there's just so much you can do. I mean, the amount of money, the amount of missions, the amount of mini games. I mean, mini games are something I haven't even touched on. You had races you could do. You had your different customized mini games that people spent time on. I mean, overall, it was just unreal the amount of things you could do with the game. And I really think if it comes down to it, I think it's in the discussion of one of the best video games right now of all time. I think it's hard not to put it in and look at it as such, or as one of the most important games of all time, with updates and people looking at games that maybe be able to last longer, or just maybe able to come out with a game that, you know, at first is just kind of bare minimum, and then you can add on to it over the end. But I really think when it comes down to my opinion, I think it is a top game of all time. I think it's hard to argue it, and I think what comes of that is kind of another question I have, where I know Ian's touched on it a little bit with his GTA 6 video about a year ago when they released the trailer that, you know, said it was just gonna not be out for 2 more years. But with all the stuff that happened in GTA 5, think about all the stuff that could be in GTA 6. Think about the multiple maps you could have. I mean, with how big the map was for GTA 5, you kind of gotta think, how big is this map? How big is some of the bunkers, some of the houses, you know, real estate, all this stuff that you could have in this game? And what are some stuff that you think they could add on to this game that maybe they didn't hit on in GTA 5? I think one of the things that they could do that I think they tried to do in GTA 5 was the stock market thing, where you could tell they put it on to the platform, but it never really took off. They also had some real estate stuff that there were more houses that they thought they were going to put in and buy, which again, I think it comes down to storage and all the stuff that they probably couldn't do with the amount of customization that maybe the PS5 or the PS3, 4 at the time just didn't have the capacity to do. But again, as well as the game looks great still. I really think GTA 5 looks great, and I can't wait to see what GTA 6 looks like. It's gonna look amazing. Hopefully it lives up to the same hype. I think people are gonna build this hype, which again, it's warranted after you have one of the best games of all time. Again, let me know in the comments what you think they should add in GTA 6, what you think about GTA 5 in capacity, and maybe if it lets you down. I mean, I have never heard of someone say that GTA 5 let them down or whatever, but hopefully you think as well that this GTA 5 lasting 12 years is unprecedented and qualifies it as one of the best video games of all time.